Okay, Josh Jones with Safe and Affordable Housing Action was planning to be with us, but was detained at work, but we have an audio recording of his question.
Hello, my name is Joshua Jones. I am a first-time home buyer in Manhattan, Kansas. My mom purchased our old house in Westmoreland in 1999 for $16,000, and she had it paid off the following year. I am purchasing my home for $120,000, including a flood insurance policy, including homeowners insurance. It does have grading issues that also have to get taken care of, but it was the closest home to what I was searching for in the area, even with all of those other possible detriments to some people. That was the only home I could find. I also only stayed here in the Manhattan area due to the good paying job I now have, and without that, the home market was not suitable for someone of my earnings to purchase a home in the area. A lot of homes in this area typically are $130,000 to $150,000, and they are typically townhomes. They're not their own separate unit of a house. If you want that, you typically have to spend maybe $100,000, but those homes are in need of quite a few repairs more often than not. I currently live in a cheap trailer that I purchased after graduating from school, and it was the best decision I had possibly made at that time because it only cost $3,000, and I only spend approximately $600, maybe $700 combined for lot rent, water, trash, sewer, and among other utilities, obviously. But it doesn't build any equity. I would have much rather had that money go towards something I was going to keep forever and was really nice. And it hurts the community in a sense because I'm also not able to build my own personal equity, which means that equity can't be shared with the community I reside in. I think subsidies have a good history of encouraging growth. Subsidizing incentives of some kind as well would encourage young people like me, where I did have a skill set in the HVAC/R trade, and I was tempted to leave. Those would encourage us to remain, as well as some of our more transients, possibly military among college students or others. The City Commission of Manhattan has recognized the local efforts on working men and women of the shortage of workforce housing. They have added a sales tax proposal to the November ballot of 0.5%. From the revenues generated by that tax, 10% would be dedicated to the workforce housing and another 20% to job creation, recruitment, and retention. We recognize the need for coordinating workforce housing between city, county, and major employers like K-State and Fort Riley. As a county commissioner, will you commit to working across jurisdictions, including Manhattan, Fort Riley, and K-State, to implement inclusionary zoning and tax incentives that support workforce housing in Riley County?
Ms. Focke.
Yes, I would support that initiative. One of the biggest problems in the area is safe and affordable housing. You see it across the board. Unfortunately, some of the lower priced lots for builders are in floodplains, and that, it just doesn't work that way. It shouldn't, which causes a lot of problems in the future. I really think that the Riley County needs to come together with all the entities and develop some safe and affordable housing actions. K-State, there's a lot of students that really need affordable housing to maintain their college experience. And, there might at some point be a time when the county could build some affordable housing in the county and link it to the campus, Fort Riley, or into town with the ATA bus system. There's all sorts of things we could do. We just have to have an open mind and work together with everybody and try to solve this issue. Mortgage rates are great right now, which really helps, but it still is hard to get that down payment together. So.
Mr. Matta. You're muted. Could you unmute and start over, please?
Okay. I worked on some of this when I was in the city of Manhattan, and we did some of this, inclusionary zoning, and it was really investment incentives that the developers got in order to build some of these houses, and a certain percentage of them would go at a lower rate. Actually, most of them were rentals to do. So I think that's something we could look at. I think it's gonna be hard for the county to give specific tax incentives for them, but I think there's programs could be taken advantage of. Having said that, mostly applications are probably gonna be more in Manhattan because of the agricultural, and large lot nature of the county proper. The other thing that has to be understood about zoning is if the current residents in the area do not want to change the zoning, and then would have to come up the commission to change it. And when I was on the city commission, I never supported that change unless the community was on board with it. We had one great development next to campus, would have been fantastic, but that local community did not want it. And the thing about zoning, when that local community bought in, they bought in because that was the zoning at the time. So I would be very hesitant, if ever, to overturn a zoning that's been there for a long time to bring in a different type of housing that community did not want.
Ms. Fang.
First of all, I'd like to say how grateful I am for Saha, the community solutions to affordable housing project that you and K-State ran in our community was just a monumental step in the right direction in tackling our safe and affordable housing challenges. To answer your question, yes, I am willing to work with you and others across jurisdictions to implement inclusionary zoning and tax incentives to support workforce housing. The challenge we'll run into with inclusionary zoning is that it's illegal under current state statutes. However, if groups like yours organize and work with other groups across the state, like Renters Together and MapJ and Rent Zero Kansas, for example, then it might be possible to overturn those pre-exemption laws. I am supportive of any grassroots effort that aims to do that. Until that happens, unfortunately, I don't know that we can implement inclusionary zoning here at the county level. However, in the meantime, we could start a conversation about community benefits agreements, which seem to hold a bit more promise at the moment. So yes, I am in support, but there's a lot of work to do here, and I look forward to doing it together. Thank you.
Mr. McKinley.
In reading through some of the literature, it seems to be this is, as they've mentioned before, it's more of a problem within Manhattan, the city of Manhattan, not in the county. One of the problems they're trying to take care of is long commutes. So they're looking for stuff to go in within the city of city of Manhattan. Additional housing out in the county is just going to cause transportation problems. There is more affordable housing in the smaller communities of the county. And yes, we do have building codes. The county doesn't, but within the city of Riley, we do have building codes there. Again, though, that would involve longer commutes. I don't know if there's a way adding ATA routes to this. There would need to be a study to see if there's even enough potential users to make those affordable. But other than that, like I said, most of these problems are going to be solved within the city, not out in the county.